to run the trophy truck, which we qualified on pole today. So we started off the weekend in good shape. But I have another group of guys in Detroit.
It's a very difficult thing to multitask StadiumSUPERTrucks in the off-road program and be able to bounce back and forth. So this weekend we have the Detroit IndyCar race for SSTs.
In Michigan, sorry. That's the part I was missing. I was looking for Michigan. I don't know why. But I guess the last 2 weeks of thrashing, trying to get trucks to Detroit. We run StadiumSUPERTrucks with IndyCar this weekend. And they start racing tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And there's 12 trucks running there with IndyCars, and then we obviously have the trophy truck here. So this weekend is a complicated weekend, but the series is, StadiumSUPERTruck is doing very, very well. We had at Long Beach Grand Prix in April for Sunday's race. We had 88,000 people there at the race, which is a very successful event for us. And we're looking forward to bringing StadiumSUPERTrucks into Mexico. It'll be our first event in Mexico. We've been talking about it with Gonzalo for 3 years now. Probably about, I wanted to do a streets of Ensenada, and we've been talking about it between Roberto and Gonzalo and local tourism. And finally, we came up with a strategy. It's been Todd's idea, and that's why I have Todd up here. He's my partner in business. With the Articap business, but also will be a co-partner with me in this event here, Mike's Peak. And we'd like to talk a little bit about Mike's Peak and the vision of Mike's Peak and how we see the racing going a little bit, and obviously open it up for questions.
Yeah. So about 5 or 6 years ago, we've been racing down here in the States. This year will be 100 years for Pikes Peak, the race that just recently turned to all pavement and kind of took the excitement out of what it was, to race up there with no guardrails and dirt roads, and people having unlimited budgets and unlimited cars, from bikes to trucks and everything, to go up the hill. And there's not a better place to do it on the famous Marks Road. So we had this vision, actually myself, and sat down with a good friend Larry Rosser, talking about how do we do this. And there wasn't a better way to do it than to bring SST here, making it a part of our SST series, and bring SST to Mexico for the famous now Mike's Peak.
Yeah, and Mike's Peak will not just be an SST race, it'll be all about race. From motos, we've had a lot of inquiry of motos, buggies, rally cars, obviously as popular as the UTV market is today, UTVs. I think even UTVs here is probably the second or the largest class at Baja. So, the UTV market brings it into more of a sportsman market. And we think that road going to Mike's in October will just be a wonderful time of the year. And it could be a good opportunity to bring in some tourism through the valley, and obviously through Ensenada on the way to Mike's Peak.
I think what's really neat is all the years Robbie's been in the car to bring that type of lifestyle bivouac and hospitality to the race that we don't get to see on a regular basis. Multi-day race where there's ongoing racing, ongoing hospitality, ongoing events each night. I think make it a social event in addition to a race. I think that's what makes it so neat, to bring everybody to Ensenada and then into Valley Trinidad and Mike's and host not just racing, but host the people of Mexico to one heck of an event.
Racing than what we normally see. It would be very similar to what happened today. There will not be wheel-to-wheel racing or cars bumping into cars as we see. It will be one car approximately every 3 to 5 minutes based on what we feel is safe, not only for the racers but for the spectators. And obviously we need the dust to settle before we send the next car. Obviously, having practice on Thursday, we'll be able to group the cars and try to put cars in groups that run similar speeds. So hopefully the fans will not be just sitting there for hours watching cars go by and then they don't get to see anything. I see a vision right now of potentially 2 passes a day based on entries, and we would shut the hill down, call it 12 to 1. And then we'd fire it back up, until the evening. Then we shut it down for 1 more hour. And I see Saturday night being a night pass of the fastest cars with lights, you know, maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. Send one more pass up the hill at nighttime. So, you know, racers want to race when they come down here. They don't want to just sit around. So we're going to have to keep it filled so they're getting their excitement, but also the spectators that choose to go camp on Mike's Road in the different camp zones or roads that are out there. We need to work obviously with the local landowners and get permission, but obviously I see it as a big camping event, and a lot of people can go and enjoy it and have a fun camping weekend.
You know, it's a great time of year. The weather's nice, and to bring everybody down there and to have continual racing from all classes and all disciplines is going to make for, you know, probably one of the best 4-day events we've had down there.
How many days?
We'll run it as one of our sanctioned events, so it will count for points in our championship. And what we'll do is obviously tally up the times over the, let's call it, you get 4 passes or something like that throughout the 2 days. We total up the times and we just, whatever the fastest of all 4 times. So it wouldn't be just, they'd be the fastest. But, you know, racing's about being consistent time after time after time and not just holding your breath. So we'll combine StadiumSUPERTruck for overall weekend points. And with that obviously brings us our television package. And that's probably the easiest way when we looked at doing this event. And a lot of people look at it and say, how are you going to do it? Well, with StadiumSUPERTruck, we've already got a sponsored television program. And we have sponsors and commitments already from series sponsors. So we'll just make it one of the events. And ironically, we announced this 3 or 4 days before they canceled the Boston IndyCar race. They were going to have a Boston IndyCar race this year, and they canceled it and said, well, we announced this anyways, there's going to be an extra race, but we'll just fill that hole with the Mike's Peak event for our competitors and teams. SST currently races, this will be our 12th race of the year. One of the 12 races, I think this will happen probably around race 9. We've run 5 races in Australia and New Zealand, 4 in Australia, 1 in New Zealand, 1 in Toronto, 1 at Long Beach. We're in Detroit this weekend, and we're in St. Petersburg, Florida. And then we do the Sand Sports Super Show in Costa Mesa, down at the beach. And we do Las Vegas SEMA Show every year.
We start at 3,300 feet and climb all the way to 4,600 feet. And part of that is also maintaining and grading the road and also giving back to the community, but also all the improvements we get to do during the race and after the race. So I think the idea, you know, to really play on the Pikes Peak of the North American racing and bring those type of races, to bring rally cars and bring electric cars and all the things we're seeing with multi-million-dollar budgets that the car manufacturers are putting into racing, what they thought was one of the most amazing races, but turning it into pavement has really set it back. So we're saying, well, let's move it out of Colorado and let's move it to Mexico, change the name. And Mike Leone has been an amazing friend over the years, so to bring this thing in with his ranch and brand it that way, I think is just nostalgic. You know, there's some really famous corners on that road, so bringing sponsors in and naming the corners and bringing hospitality to a specific section of the race course, that might have great opportunities for both spectators and branding for either local or international brands to come down here. That's the whole piece. If we really follow how we can get up this almost 20-mile loop, there's plenty of areas where we can actually entertain, engage, and actually make it, you know, a pretty amazing festival.
Obviously, in today's world, it's all about social media and being able to share the content with their friends.
El 12 de octubre tenemos contemplado hacer el registro de los pilotos aquí en Ensenada. La idea es hacerlo en el lugar tradicional, que es el Centro de Convenciones Riviera del Pacífico. El registro de medios también, la inspección técnica de los vehículos y la junta de pilotos con una fiesta de bienvenida para todos los pilotos. Eso sería el miércoles 12 de octubre. Después de ahí, el día 13 y 14, se tiene contemplado todo el día de prácticas en la zona del evento, que sería en el área del Valle de la Trinidad, específicamente en San Matías, en el acceso hacia el Rancho Mike's. Viene siendo el kilómetro 137 aproximadamente de la carretera 3 que va hacia San Felipe. El día jueves jueves 13 y viernes 14, como lo dice Robbie, en diferentes categorías, como se vayan clasificando, se van a ir dando las prácticas y con una junta de pilotos cada noche para precisamente planear el día siguiente. La competencia oficialmente iniciaría el sábado y domingo, que sería el día 15 y 16 de octubre. Todos esos 2 días van a ser días de carrera, culminando con la ceremonia de premiación.
That's going to change a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit once the entries come in. But before we can have entries, we have to have meetings like this. Everybody's, thumb stamp on it saying, okay, here's where we're going to go. And the way I see it is by next weekend, we put out the official open entry and start building the momentum.
Básicamente la idea también, como lo decía Robbie, es dejarle algo a la comunidad. Sabemos que esta zona prácticamente carece de facilidades. Se va a hacer un campamento en la zona de Rancho Millán, que viene siendo enfrente del acceso, y pues ese campamento va a necesitar de todos los servicios. Todo eso se va a contratar localmente. Estamos pensando en dejar una derrama considerable en todo lo que está alrededor del Valle de la Trinidad, desde servicios de limpieza hasta carpas, provisiones, comida, bebida, todo lo que se necesite. Y obviamente también en el área de Mike's y los hoteles que están en el área de Valle de la Trinidad. Entonces va a ser un evento que va a dejar derrama en Ensenada, con el evento aquí en Ensenada, además de básicamente todo lo que se va a hacer ahí en el Valle de la Trinidad.
Yeah, if you look, we stopped in when we were pre-running. We met with the owner of the rancho here. He has a very nice level area with a bunch of rocks set up. And he said that obviously he'd be open for base camp being there. And he has a power drop already, so for our communication. And it's not very far from Mike's Road, maybe 2 soccer fields. Not far at all, and it looks like the layout very, very good, and I see it being a big festival area. Right now the ranch or the farm is hard packed. So it was farmed before, but right now it's set up as basically little camp zones.
And probably be able to put several hundred people in there each night, all the racers, and turn it into a bivouac with tents and food and entertainment. So make every evening pretty special.
Hi, we know about a bunch of people who are buying